Hey, Peace Nation. This is Karen. Welcome, Peace Family. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, family. If you are new to the channel because of the title of this video, I want to say thank you for coming. Please keep an open mind. This is my opinion. I don't expect others to always agree with me. We all have our own relationships when it comes to God, and therefore use your own discernment. But this has been bothering me for a while, and I just kept putting it off. Doing this video. This is a reaction to the IAG Farms, which is technically It's All About God, and the Resurrection Ranch, where it's still all about God channels. I am a subscriber to both. I have been a subscriber to both for years. I have encouraged other people to watch this channel. Now I'm kind of wondering if I should have done that. Okay, I should have let people find it on their own. My mom is blind, so she can't see. But I have talked so much about this family. It's a family of now 6, was 5 at the time. That every day she was saying, "Did you get to see the kids today? Did you get?" And she would name them. Like she's never seen or heard this channel, but she knew my excitement in what I thought this channel was supposed to be. Okay, so there's a father. His name is Tim. A mother named Megan. 3 children: Titus, Noah, and and Tim Jr. Now there's baby Benjamin. He is gorgeous. Hey Ben. Anyway, so Tim says this channel is all about God. I'm starting to think this channel is all about Tim. I should have saw the very first, well, there were several red flags, but the biggest red flag for me that I ignored was when Tim told us that God told them that they were no longer in season to preach in the city, that they was to take time off of God's work. Understand this, take God away from God's work of saving souls every day and go live out in the country and build up what they have in the country. I don't believe that. And I'm going to tell you why I don't believe it, that this was a word from God, because of Tim's actions. Tim is very demanding, very overbearing, very narcissistic. Tim has said things about his family. He reacts to his family in a way that is just really disturbing to me. Megan is a beautiful spirit. She really is. Unfortunately for Megan, and some would say it's fortunate, but in this case, unfortunate for Megan, Megan has never really had a real relationship outside of Tim. She doesn't have anything to compare it to. Megan is a girl who grew up in the church. We know what that means, church people. So she had a certain idea of what kind of man she wanted. Tim was a man that went to prison. Don't get me wrong, I've been to prison. I didn't have to find God in prison. I knew God before prison. God kept me while I was in prison, but I already had a relationship with him. I didn't turn to God for him to save me from myself in prison or to protect me in prison when I wasn't already feeling protected and saved by him. Matter of fact, my experience with prison, actually, God showed who he was before I went. I'm going to be honest with you. I should have gotten 17 years. I did less than 2. The judge wanted to give me no time. That's God. But I'm thankful that my Heavenly Father allowed me to go sit down for a while, because it really taught me some lessons about who I was as a person and the things that I was doing, and how God really didn't want that for me, and that was not the right direction to go into. So, okay. Now, Tim says his channel is all about God, but everything is only God talks to Tim. All decisions only come from Tim. Like, Megan really doesn't have a say-so. Megan is a slave on this farm. The boys, who are children, are slaves. Okay? These kids are doing farm chores like they're teenagers or grown men. These are little boys. And Tim is treating them, he keeps saying, we're raising men, we're raising men. Well, first of all, Tim, they have to be babies. They have to be little boys. They have to be adolescents. They have to be teenagers, and then they become men. So it is our job as parents to guide them through all those transitions in their life. But Tim doesn't care about that. Tim wants the cameras to roll so we can see him doing work, the little work he does. It doesn't take as long as it's taking for Tim to do some things. That barn shouldn't be taking 2 years for Tim to finish that barn. It shouldn't be taking 7, 8 months for him to finish his mother's kitchen. And that's why we're here. They talked Miss Lily, and I think I'm part of the problem. They talked Miss Lily into going down to what is now known as the Resurrection Ranch and taking over that property. They signed the property over to her in that as long as she's living, she can use and do what she wants with the property. That's a lie. Oh, she could be there as long as she wants, but she can't do anything she wants to do with it. I guarantee you not one of her other children, not one of her other grandchildren can bring on that 10-acre property, 8 to 10 acres, and put a trailer on it. Not one. Because it's not hers. That's Tim and Megan's property. That's why they didn't sign the property over to her. They just allowed her to put her house on it. A house that she paid for, even though he keeps trying to say, the budget, the budget, the budget. We don't have money for this and we don't have money for that. And changing her designs of the way she does her kitchen and everything, him and Megan. They're making all the changes. Okay, so this message is to Miss Lily. We wanted to see you. We joined the Resurrection Ranch channel because we wanted to watch your journey, not his journey. And guess what, Miss Lily? That didn't just mean your journey of fixing up the house. We wanted to get to know you in everyday life. We wanted to see you interact with your other children and your other grandchildren. We wanted to see you get dressed and go out when your friends come over. That's really what we wanted. But that's not what this channel has become. This channel has become another platform just for Tim to talk, to do things Tim's way. And I want you to be very careful, because let us know when he starts whispering in your ear in a subtle way that it makes more sense for you to be in the smaller trailer on IAG Farms and they be in this bigger trailer down here that you've bought, when they should have bought a bigger one for the size their family was in the first place, knowing at some point they wanted to have more children. But they're going to whisper in your ear that, oh, this is so big, this is so nice, oh, this is what our family should have, we would have more comfort, because those 3 boys shouldn't be in that one little tiny bedroom with those bunk beds stacked like that. And they're going to start whispering in your ear. And now they have 4 boys. Oh, it's going to really make sense that 2 boys share one room and 2 boys share the other. And then they've got this big old space that is called a den that you have that Megan can turn into a classroom. It'll be a classroom and play space for the boys. Understand it's coming. And maybe it won't come if he sees this video, but I see Tim doing that to you. And I want you to stand your ground and tell him that's not of God. God does not change who he is. God does not change his mind. So if God told them, the Spirit truly told them to give you that property and let you do what you want on that property, do whatever you want on that property. Because remember, the papers you signed said you can do whatever you want as long as you're living. That means if you want to bless your other children, want your other children to come out there, you don't have to film them with Tim. That lie about he wouldn't come to the other place because the other family was not about God is a whole lie. That place, they were not about Tim and what Tim wanted. and they was not going to be used by Tim. That's all that was. So don't please don't fall for it. We love you. We care about you. We are praying for you. Understand this. You and I are the same age. I think that we're born around the same time. My birthday is April 11th. I don't really celebrate birthdays either. But let me tell you something. When Tim talks about signs and wonders, I've come to appreciate what an Aries really is. And Tim better hope that you don't get tired. And I mean sick and tired. Because if you ever get sick and tired, you're going to see the truth of who your son has not become. I love you. Hey, Peace Nation. If you want to go check out the channels, like I said, one is called IAG Farms. The other one is called The Resurrection Ranch. It's still all about God. That's the one that's supposed to have the mother on it mostly. That's what a lot of us want to see. And I don't even know how much longer I'm going to stay connected to these channels, but because I'm starting to see the truth of who the Father is. And not just the Father, I'm starting to see how much Megan is willing to go along with this man just to have a man. And I know that the husband is supposed to lead, but the husband ain't supposed to lead you to hell. God don't expect us to follow anyone blindly but him. Understand that? Did you hear what I said? God is the only person we're supposed to follow blindly. And Megan knows the word better than Tim will ever know the word. Ever know the word. Because if you watch the channel, IAG Farms, they've got a new channel called IAG Farm, IAG Godcast. Tim doesn't know the word as well as he thinks he does. He will explain some things that are not really the way they're supposed to be explained, but you can't tell him that. Because Tim is a person who believes that when Tim is dangerous. He's dangerous in the saying a little knowledge. He has a little knowledge of who God is. Tim don't really understand who God is. Because if he understood who God was, he wouldn't be moving the way he moves with his wife and his mother and his children. His wife would not be isolated from the world. She is literally isolated from her own family. We have seen her mother and her sister, I think, once. And when we saw them, I think she said something about them being volunteers. And then we had to learn that they was actually her mother and her sister. Who does that? They never come see her. She never goes and sees them. Before she married him, she kept herself fixed up. Now he wants her to look like a... It's for clicks and views and donations. He has Megan walking around looking like that because he made a comment saying that if he would have chose a woman for lust, Megan wouldn't have made the cut. Basically is what he was saying. He chose Megan because Megan was the girl out of all those girls he was looking at that had her own. She had a house already. She had a well-paying job at a college. So he went the route that could financially help him. Tim didn't pick Megan because he wanted Megan. He wasn't interested in Megan physically. He was only interested in Megan monetarily. And then the more he got to know Megan, the more he understood that Megan would be the only one that would totally follow and go along with anything he says and does. Well, Peace Nation, I'm sorry. I just wanted to come on here and rant. If you want to, go look at it and judge for yourself. Make your own opinion, your own assessment. I have no problem with it. And if you think I'm wrong or if you see something differently, just put it in the comments. And if you stay this long, thank you. I want you to like the video. Please leave a comment. That's very important to YouTube if you leave a comment, because then you know people are interacting with me. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the family. Listen, we're all growing. And none of us are there yet. And let me explain something to you. As long as we're in this flesh, we won't be there. This flesh is sin. And I'm not expecting Tim to be perfect. Not by a long shot. But I'm expecting a man who's supposed to be a man of God to move differently than he moves. Tim has lied to contractors. He overworks his children. Yeah, you do have to teach your children chores and everything. But the way that these children are struggling on these farms, Megan has a whole hernia. Which one of them boys are going to develop a hernia next? I see it for Tim Jr. The way he has them doing them hay bales, the way he has him pulling that cart. This boy is not, I don't even think he's like 12. Is he even 11 yet? And Tim is treating him like he's a 16, 17 year old. Okay, let's go even younger. He's teaching him like he's one of the 14, 15-year-old child you're just teaching how to drive cars, change tires, all that stuff that men do. He's teaching him like he is one of them. He is not Tim. This is still a baby. And you have to move with these children differently than you're moving with them, because what you're going to do is make these children leave you just as fast as they can and not look back. They're not going to care about what you leave for inheritance. They're going to tell you to keep it and where to put it. So you better start treating these children better than you treat them, and you better start treating Megan and your mother better than you treat them, because understand this, Miss Lily's eyes aren't closed to who you are. Megan's are. But if hers ever open, you're in trouble. Love you, Peace Nation. Have a great day.